On Two Wheels this week, a ride on Yamaha's new muscle machine, the XJR 1300. And Jeff tracks down some more bikes from days gone by at this year's classic show. And Wayne's out and about at a hill climb. In today's world, technology seems to be making everything smaller and smaller. Well, that's what I tell the wife. But anyway, there are always exceptions to the rule. Top speeds are becoming more and more impressive, and engine sizes seem to be going up and up. Years ago, if you rode a GT 750 or a Z900, you would have been the bee's knees. They were big muscle bikes. Not by today's standards. Talk about muscle bikes today and you think of things like the 1200 Suzuki Bandit, the 1200 VMAX, the Kawasaki ZRX 1100, and now the even bigger XJR 1300 from Yamaha. Yes, I did say 1300. You'd have thought an XJR 1200 was perfectly big enough, but obviously not, so now it's a 13. Basically the same engine as Yamaha's XJ 1200, which we all know and love so well. And that's been around for quite a while, and there's still many of them kicking about with huge mileages on them, so durability and reliability shouldn't be a problem with this. It's air-cooled and it runs a 5-speed gearbox as opposed to the more common 6-speed, and I have found myself looking for that 6th gear once or twice. You forget there's only 5. Not that it really needs it, you just kind of get used to it being there, don't you? In fact, the engine's that torquey, there's that much power available throughout the rev range. It's really a case of just pick a gear, usually 3rd, 4th or 5th, and just go. And it does go fairly well. The performance isn't stunning in terms of acceleration or top speeds, but this is still a very powerful bike. If you're looking for sports bike type performance and handling, then you've missed the point completely. The XJR doesn't particularly like being thrown into corners at high speed or being subjected to racing style acceleration. It much prefers a more relaxed, more controlled style of riding. You need to think ahead, pick your lines and aim to be as smooth as possible. If you should get things a little bit wrong, the one thing you can rely on are these. The brakes, superb. Calipers straight off a YZF R1. Need I say any more? So what about the look of it? Well, it's retro, isn't it? So retro usually means lots of chrome, or bits of chrome anyway. So we've got chromed speedo and rev counter there. Not proper chrome though, it's plasticky chrome. We've nearly got a chromed headlight, we've got a chrome rim on it, but a plastic back. Chromed backs on the indicators, which look very nice now, but I'm not sure how long they're going to stay looking quite that good. And some retro style chrome back wing mirrors, which are actually very good. You can see a fair bit of what's going on behind you. You don't just get wing mirrors full of elbows like you do on a lot of modern bikes. Moving further back, the petrol tank, very, very big, very smart. Again, 1970s sort of retro styling and some very nice colour-coded side panels here. Very smart and very nicely badged as well. The seat, I have to say, is superb. Brilliant seat, dead comfy, one-piece seat, nice and wide, nice and soft, and actually quite low as well. So I think most people should get both feet fairly firmly on the ground, and you do need to with this because at 230 kilos it's no lightweight. The pillion department is actually quite good. One-piece seat helps, of course. Nice and wide at the back, and again very comfy for a pillion. The foot pegs aren't too high, so you're not going to cripple your pillion, and there's a nice grab rail there to get hold of. Rear suspension is the sort of old-fashioned style twin shock with some little piggyback reservoirs there. You can adjust these, so you should be able to find something to suit your particular style of riding. And finishing off the whole back end, which is very smart, very nicely streamlined, are these big, whopping, fat, chromed again, twin silencers. One either side, so you've got a nice balanced look to the back of the bike. All in all, it's very, very big, but it's very nice. The price too is very nice. £6,300 on the road is not a lot of money, but this is a lot of bike. The XJR 1300 has a certain presence on the road. It makes you feel important. You'll get noticed. If big is beautiful, this machine is gorgeous.
Of course, no British bike show would be complete without classic British metal. Beautiful rudges, AJSs, shiny sunbeams, even a 1917 550 dispatch rider's bike complete with a wicker basket. There were two-stroke dots, MV Augustas with Phil Reed even putting in an appearance, some very weird scooters, and of course some illustrious Vincents. But if you're in the market for rebuilding one of your classic machines, you need to get spare parts. And outside and inside the hall are ranges and ranges of spare parts, rusty ones, corroded aluminium, but nevertheless, it's probably got that priceless component that you want. Now, 67 years ago, this aerial was the CBR 600 of the day. Because it's 600cc, it's a square 4, not an inline 4, but it's overhead camshaft. But no electric starter on this one, no 6-speed gearbox. This one has got a hand change, 4-speed on this side here. It's also got a fantastic display of instruments in the tank. A speedo there, a clock in the middle, Smith's clock, oil pressure gauge down at the bottom, and if you can see just in the centre here, this little thing is an inspection light where you can pull it out, it's on a wandering lead, so you can look for those little rattles you might have, or oil leaks. And look at this on the back of the headlamp here. Great big switch, you're not going to miss that, are you, with your gloves on? Headlamp switch, ammeter up there. What else we got? The old girder forks here, no hydraulics on that, big spring in the middle. But look at this bar layout, this is very, very neat. You don't have to worry about indicators on these. But the clutch lever, very neat and streamlined, cable runs underneath. Same on the front brake lever there, then your light switch, air and advance and retard. All very clever and all very, very neat. Com-dom, not what you think, and I did say com-dom because this is a Vincent Comet engine in a Dominator frame. So this is the famous featherbed frame, and if you're an Ogre fan, you would have seen that Ogre has got a big Vincent Norton. He's got the V-twin in there, but this is half of it. It's all familiar Norton stuff, but it's the name that's very special. Tommy, the last time we met up, Motegi in Japan. We've met several times on this programme, so you'll be requiring payment, I presume, for soon.
Yeah, I'm keeping note of it. I think it's 40th time or something, isn't it? But at least this one's a bit closer to home than when we met last time.
Too true. But Tommy, what's the actual attraction with classic bikes to you?
Well, for me personally, because classic bikes weren't classics at the time that I rode them and raced them, it's terrific to see the interest that is accumulated by people today who want to remember the 50s and the 60s. And when you look at a show like this that's put on every year, this is the 19th year of it, and they pack the halls every single year. So the interest in the classic stuff is still here. It's obvious by the attendance.
And because in the 50s and 60s, that was the heydays of your racing, and a lot of people rode these bikes to come and see you, which is a nice sort of link for yourself, isn't it? But it's not just the bikes, is it? You do meet up with old friends, and I saw you earlier chatting to Jim Redman and one or two other old racers.
Yes, Jim, with John Cooper, Derek Minter, Sammy Miller, all on the stand down there. And I mean, they were all the people in the heyday of the 60s, which I think was probably one of the most competitive eras in racing, when any one of probably 20 riders from Britain could have been a world champion.
And after your racing career, which finished, what, in early 70s, was it? Or
1973 was my last year in racing.
Seems a long time ago.
Yeah, it does seem a long time.
But then you opened your bike shop. Now you've sold up your dealership. So what are you doing with yourself now?
I'm actually trying to do as little as possible, but it hasn't quite worked out that way. We seem to have been busier than ever. I'm doing a bit of writing again. I'm doing restoration of some of my old bikes, and doing a bit of work on the house. So that's keeping me pretty busy.
Now, earlier we saw you signing copies of your book. That's TT to Tokyo. Yeah?
Yes, I just happen to have a copy here.
Oh, so you do. Put it away. We'll get shouted at.
From TT to Tokyo was actually, I've reprinted it. I wrote it in 1974. And so many people have asked whether they could get a copy of the old book that I've done a reprint, which we're launching here at the show. And my wife Erin and Glenn have been with me helping to dispose of it. So it's my life story in racing from 1951 to 1973, reprinted again in 1999.
And does it tell you everything? Is it a proper expose? Is it everything that went on?
No, I'm trying to save my marriage, so I can't put everything in the book.
Now here's a big bike for you, a really big bike, the Hesketh. This is the brainchild of Lord Hesketh, who lived down near Silverstone, and he thought he'd have a bike to beat the world. And this was his creation. Big V-twin, 90 degree, very much like a Ducati, belt driven, overhead camshaft. From what I remember, it had a very clunky gearbox, which put a lot of people off in the early days. But 1980 this prototype was made. 1982 they went into production and produced around about 200. Interesting thing with this, it had Astrolite wheels. These wheels were made of pressed aluminium sheets riveted together around the edge there, and the only wheels you could get in those days were cast aluminium. So these were made by a guy called Tony Dawson, who's still in business. But nice looking bike, nickel plated frame, but it just didn't sell. But you can still buy one to special order if you want. Well, you've heard of the Milky Bar Kid. How about the Milky Bike Kid? Not really, mate, it doesn't suit me, does it? But this little Dot 122cc two-stroke engine, look at it, tiny little thing down there, that heaved around this little three-wheeler, designed to deliver milk in this case, but you could also have it as an ice cream wagon, in fact everything, even a spare parts wagon, a little truck for taking bits and pieces round. So this is one three-wheeler, but there's another one behind me over there, which you've just got to see. Now this is a three-wheeler like you've never seen before. In fact, I've got a look at the notes here. Belongs to a private collector, 1901, and it's a slinger, and it's a special. I'd say it's very, very special. 3.5 horsepower engine. Now just look at this engine. Now liquid cooling, all the vogue, right? This is water cooling. Can you imagine this? All polished up and gleaming. Two wheels there, a brake on that second wheel I can see. Look at the carburettor way back there on a big rubber hose. An amazing thing. Now, if you've got a modern sports bike today, or perhaps a Harley, you'll think you're going to be noticed. If you had one of these, you would be noticed. Well, that's the Classic Bike Show. Some absolutely fabulous bikes here, and I hope you've enjoyed the show so far. But at the end of the day, there is a competition to this to win the best bike in the show. And this is it. Vincent Grey Flash. Entered in the TT, immaculate condition, restored. A lot of time, a lot of expense, but a wonderful bike. You've got to meet that if you want to win best bike.
And that's all from this year's Classic Show at Stafford. And after the break, Wayne's out hill climbing.
Oh, damn, do you get it? It's like a joke, innit? Only not funny. Yes, now then, what am I doing, you're asking? Well, I'm hill climbing. I'm actually hill climbing on 2 legs rather than 2 wheels. I'd rather be doing it on 2 wheels or even 3 wheels. 66. In my element here now in the sidecar here, it's just where I should be in a sidecar. But I'm not good enough for this level. I'm joined here by Brian Armitage, who's actually the rider of this particular bike. But you're involved in the club, aren't you? And you've always got one, haven't you, the flipping nosy, get out of it, solo riders. They're a breed apart, them boys. So you're involved in the club, organising the things, aren't you?
Basically, it's more my wife that deals with the club side of it. Really, for me to get involved in running the club as well as riding is really a bit of a no-no. I do as much as I can.
Yeah.
Like I come and help set up on a Saturday, Really,
Making
that's
a brew
about,
when she's doing the paperwork.
Well, yeah, that's
yeah.
about
But
it.
your passion is riding them.
Absolutely.
So you openly admit, as I do as a rider and competitor, the truth is we're too busy, aren't we? We want to get on with the job.
Absolutely.
And it's people like your Mrs. Julie that arranges things, and we need them. It's very important that. What club is this though, Brian?
This is the Batley Motorcycle Club.
Yeah. And how many of these hill climbs do you arrange a year?
We do 3 at the moment a year, and I've done for quite a few years now. We used to be a big road race club, but expenses go up, all sorts of other things come into it. People get older, they want to drop out. They drop out of running the thing. Julie's just taken over this year, and really she's put a lot into it already.
Yeah.
What we need is more competitors, more helpers in particular.
Well, we can encourage competitors, because I've noticed the bikes that are being used are all types, all shapes, and road bikes.
That's
regular
right.
road machines.
Absolutely.
And you spoke about the expenses in road racing.
Yeah.
Well, it isn't expensive to do this, is
It's
it?
not expensive at
So
all.
if there's the lads out there who are got the road bikes and they fancy having a dabble, what criteria, what do they have to do to play?
Anybody, if they've got a bike and it's safe, they can bring it, they can ride it. All they do, if it's a production bike, they tape the lights up, they wire the sump up, that's it. They put a number on.
Yeah.
There's no more to it than that. We've got everything here, from old road bikes to production bikes, proper racing bikes. We've even got Derek Brindley here today.
Oh yes, a famous face from Sidecar Road Racing.
From Grand Prix racing.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
He's racing a solo.
Yeah.
Anybody can ride.
Can have a dabble.
Anybody can do it, and it's cheap.
Yeah.
Very cheap.
Well, they are, you see.
Back to the 250, but 11, 30, Alice. Oh, forget it. Next is number 21, very quickly. Yeah, it is no way for a champion to arrive.
I'm joined here now by Barry Warner, and I'm very impressed, Barry, because you are using a standard R80 BMW road bike, which I know you go just about everywhere on. I mean, even on the clock, it's got 78,000 miles. But you've just gone tear-assing round the blinking circuit here.
Yeah.
Is something wrong with you?
Yeah. I enjoy
Excellent.
tear-assing round the circuit.
Excellent, why not? Yeah. How long have you been having a go at this hill climbing like that?
This is my 3rd year on this bike, and I also use it for track days and things like that.
You don't?
know. Yeah.
Do people laugh at you? And I don't mean that disrespectful, but people expect fire blades.
Yeah, well, yeah, people laugh at you until you get out on the track.
And then you go and do your business, because you
Yeah.
put up some good times here today.
Not bad. I
Yeah.
don't know what they are like.
Yeah,
but,
no, you have. We've been listening because we said, look at him on that. And then all of a sudden you sweetly nip round the corner and you're neat, tidy, fast. I think you might have scratched your engine casings, you know, your cylinder head
yeah, well,
covers.
it does go down
Yeah.
occasionally.
Yeah, I
you
should
know,
think so.
Getting a bit thin, but there you go.
Whereabouts have you come from?
Bury.
Bury.
Yeah.
So you've come, what, 30, 40 mile or something?
About 25.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Well, it's plenty far enough. You haven't come on a trailer, have you, though?
No,
You've come
I've
on the
come on the
bike.
bike.
In fact, I know what you're going to do now. You're going to get your little scissors out. You're going to cut these numbers off the side
Yeah.
here, put your panniers on and go home.
That's it.
Now there's
That's what it's
impressive
all
for you
about.
there. That's what this lark is all about, hill climbing. Come on your bike, have a play and go home again. Look at this classic 200 Yamaha. I can imagine that the classic Yamaha Owners Club would go mad to see what this guy was doing on this thing. Amazing stuff, innit? Eh? You've got your sidecars, you've got your solos, quads, old bikes, new bikes, road legal machines. It's great fun. You start at the bottom of the hill, you go to the top of the hill, as fast as you can possibly do it. There's no one else to battle at. I mean, you're not going to fall off and knock somebody off. Why don't you have a go? I mean, you know, let's be fair. If you contact your local club, pay your entry fee, a few quid, you can do it. I mean, it is cheaper than a speeding ticket.
On Two Wheels next week, a radio cassette, a compact disc, heated grips, heated seat and backrest, electric windscreen and map reading lights and much, much more. Does this sound like any bike you've ever heard of? Next week, Jeff gives us a guided tour of BMW's latest masterpiece, the K1200 LT.